Dear Mr. Zation, I met your children today. My children told me that your children were goblins. The eyes on the backs of their heads allow them to row into the shores with their backs facing the beaches. The face that they had was so pale and so white that they resembled ghosts. And their hair, well, it was a little bit fake. Nonetheless, I told my children to be warm and to be welcoming. Most of them were a bit reluctant at first. But then, as more of your children began to arrive, explorers and sailors, adventurers and traders, and of course, missionaries, my children began to learn from your children and yours from mine. In fact, I've been told that they plan to form a partnership. I think they called it a treaty. Well, whatever it is, Mr. Zation, I look forward to working with you. Mr. Zation, 100 years have now passed since the signing of Te Tiriti o Waitangi and the beginning of our partnership. Since then, the Native Schools Act of 1867 decreed that English would be the only language used to teach my children. It was the birth of the unconscious bias which discouraged our whānau from being Māori and taught our tamariki that the only way to survive in this world, the only way to be normal, was to be Pākehā. Ignorant to the mana within our words, he began to beat every syllable from our busted lips, leaving our bruised bodies to walk home, sheltered by nothing but the heavy umbrella of your oppression. Our mouths became more familiar with the taste of blood than with the taste of te reo Māori. Mr. Zation, you stepped onto our soil and renamed our lands and our maunga, once named for their mana and their history within our culture, now named after old white men. You once told a young tāhimi Hinare that if he wanted to earn his bread and butter, he must speak English. You told us that our names were too difficult, so you laughed as you changed them to new, easy ones. Romana became Nobi, Moari became Maud, and Pani became Fanny. But what did it matter? I mean, why would te reo Maori ever be relevant in a Pākehā world, right? Well, Mr. Zation, does the I stand for ignorance? Because it's obvious that you don't see that our language plays a vital part in being who we are. To maintain our mana and identity, we must speak our tongue and fill our bellies with the taste of our words. Nā te waha o tāhimi henare, ko te reo te Māori o te mana Māori, ko te kupu te Māori o te reo Māori. Dear Mr. Zation, whatever happened to our partnership? Have you forgotten the promise that you made to us that Māori and Pākehā would be treated as equals? Did it ever occur to you that the land that you sold was never yours to begin with? Or that the diseases that you bought never belonged to this land in the first place? Why can you learn names like Tchaikovsky or Dostoevsky, but a simple name like Pani needs to be changed to Fanny? Why do we have to scream to be heard? Why do we have to be seen as violent just to be seen? What does a Māori have to do to be Māori? Dear Mr. Colonization, Hawaii, French Polynesia, Australia, America, just a handful of places where the native speakers have already begun to forget the flavor of their own words, have already begun to lose their identity. For too long, we have been shushed by your hands of oppression. 2019 is the official International Year of Indigenous Languages. This is the year where we break down that unconscious cultural bias and start to teach our tamariki that being normal means being Māori. This is the year where we heal our wounds and heal our ancestors' wounds by continuing to speak te reo. This is the year where we stand up and speak up, demand to receive our right to be treated equally, promised to us nearly 200 years ago. We are no longer being quiet. We will no longer be quiet.